Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are now on the patch 3.1. I didn't see anything in any of the patch notes or anything to indicate that this is incompatible with existing saves, and indeed our save seems to have loaded up fine. I did make ourselves a new save right here, a 3.1 save. Any save before this is on the previous version. This version, or this one onward, is on the new version. So that definitely is something that we are going to be able to revert back to if we run into any major issues. I'm not expecting any, and I'm expecting most of the changes in this patch to mostly apply to a new galaxy, and so I'm expecting that we're probably... Oh yeah, we did have an AI failure. I'm expecting that we're probably going to have some not particularly major impacts from this patch. That's the overall theory. Now, we're currently needing a ruler job here. That's extremely difficult to come by. Extremely difficult to come by. I think we're just going to have to let them demote. I don't think there's any real way around that. This mining world here, we can definitely do a planetary capital upgrade. Same here. We're working over here. Yeah, that should be fine. We can also upgrade that. Fantastic. And we're just going to keep doing this. We do have plenty for now of minerals. So that's great. And yeah, that looks completely okay. Well, maybe not completely okay here. Maybe not completely okay. I wouldn't necessarily... What other jobs do we want on a Forge world? That's my question, because the industrial districts... I mean, maybe we're supposed to just max out our districts here, and then build in these buildings, but I'm just wondering, on a Forge world or a industrial world, what jobs do we want other than what comes out of the districts? We're going to have all these empty building slots, and what do we do with them? I don't know yet. We'll cross that bridge to some degree when we get there. Now, we were working on replenishing our fleets after that war. And that is indeed what we're going to work on here for a bit. Our construction ship is just kind of chilling up there. I don't think there's anything really for us to do with it at this exact moment. So we're going to... That was a reroll there, for sure. None of these are amazingly huge, although the war exhaustion gain is nice. We'll definitely take that. Okay. And we're full on influence for right now. Not like we can really do anything with it, though. Not at this exact moment, unless we wanted to make claims. That's something we could do. Also, I definitely was unaware that a status quo would, with the CB that we had, the change, impose ideology CB, rather. I was unaware that the status quo would actually yield all of this territory. Okay, that's good to know. That's very, very good to know. Well, we're just going to... Oh, hello. Leaked recordings of one of our envoys' private conversations have the Talakur League up in arms. That is, of course, these guys over here. In a regrettable moment, Ambassador Rupert Evans Jr. seems to have called his hosts disgusting bugs that are far less intelligent than most houseflies. The Talakuran president expressed dismay and suggested that keeping someone so demonstrably unfit for the role in place would be concerning. No, I agree, that would be concerning. He shall return to Earth for retraining. Fantastic. We're going to continue to reinforce this fleet. Actually, it's at full strength. So we're going to reinforce this fleet. Fantastic. So that'll get underway. Research agreement was broken, but that's fine. And we're just going to continue replenishing our fleets for the time being. And then we're going to look to give some more people some healthcare, most likely.
Scientific breakthrough.
We're definitely getting to that point. Proton launchers have finished up, and I think ultimately we're going to go for simultaneous collapse storage. That'll be fine. Fantastic. We can continue to reinforce the second fleet here. we're making corvettes at this time. How much will it cost to fully reinforce? Okay. Now, we did lose a corvette from this fleet, and we're going to go ahead and get that in. That'll be fine. 19,000 alloys is what we are currently needing. Okay. That'll be a little while, to be sure. This factory world requires 3 jobs, actually. To that end, thinking about going for civilian fabricators. That said, we're doing okay on consumer goods. We can actually scale back our purchase order here to that, and then we can upgrade civilian fabricators. That'll do the trick. This mining world, we do have a mineral purification plant on it. That's great. We're going to do something along the lines of that. This agro world here, we do have some mining districts here, so we're going to put in a mineral purification plant there as well. And of course, our empire capital here, we need to get this ruler a job. For now, we should probably upgrade to an admin park. We're doing okay on our rare crystals, so we'll keep that in mind for now. We should also build in 2 additional city districts. That will be necessary. Excellent. So all of that is nicely underway. There's our interstellar campaigns finished up, and I think we're going to grab Tomb World habitability. I mean, I don't think we have any Tomb Worlds. I would have thought that we would have terraformed them by now if we did. Then again, it could be that they're just not showing up as possibilities. That is a thing that can happen. We did lose an admiral at the age of 113. We're going to get another admiral in here, and I think we're going to go for... Weapons range is always good. Cooper Smith Jr. can do the trick. There we go. We're negative in consumer goods right now. That's okay. That won't last for too much longer. We're going to reinforce that fleet with additional corvettes and destroyers. Excellent. So that is nicely underway. The Corinth Trade Association is definitely not doing as well as they have in the past. We're currently equivalent to them, but that's likely to change soon enough. We're equivalent to these guys and these guys over here as well. We do need to start... Actually, we're superior to them. We do need to start actually thinking about expansion, though. We've been building fairly tall here, and it's been going okay for us. I'm not going to call it amazing for us. I would like to repair these crystal mines over here. These are all things that we can do. And can we do any moat harvesting in addition? The answer to that is no. This is intended to be a tech world, though, and there kind of isn't any tech here. So we're going to do that for right now. Additional encryption is always handy. I think we're going to go for... I mean, this is basically just a reroll here. I'm not too interested in the experimental navigation since we have jump drives. This industrial world does require a job. And we will go ahead and create additional industrial districts. Excellent. That'll be just fine. We've definitely got some solid stuff going on here. Now, we do want to take these back over here and push our way in over this way. So, when are we going to be no longer truced with these guys is the question. Which one of these is a truce? I'm pretty sure we're currently truced with them. In fact, I'm quite sure that we are. Regardless, I don't see it in there. Maybe it's in ours? Like, if we go to our diplomacy, which I'm sure is here somewhere. I guess it would be under contacts. And show CBs. Do we have to vote for it in our Federation menu? Perhaps. Perhaps. Let's check. Yeah, that's all of our members. That's our fleets. And we could definitely start working our way up this way. In fact, they would be willing to go for 40 years. And we'll vote yes on that. Excellent. So we'll change that over there, and then we'll set this up to status change a little bit later on. They would actually be willing to do fleet contribution, and we're going to vote for that as well. We vote yes on that one. Excellent. And then it is currently random. And they're currently voting on that. There we go. Low fleet contribution. Separate treaties, they would not quite vote for prohibited, but that's fine.
Scientific breakthrough
That is completely
achieved.
fine. So there's our tomb world habitability. And let's go for leader upkeep reduction. Actually kind of doesn't matter as far as I'm concerned. We'll go for the lifespan so that we can have more experience. This factory world does require an additional job, and we'll go for another industrial district. That'll be fine. And this agro world needs a job as well. Well, we can definitely upgrade both of these, and that'll do the trick for now. This factory world requires multiple jobs. We'll just build a couple of industrial districts there. And that will be just fine. We'll hop on down to our second fleet and do up a bunch here. Nice. The Tadasca station actually needs its additional shipyards. And we were running the transit hub here. We don't have an owned planet in that system, so I think we'll just avoid building that. I don't know that we need anything here, so we'll just put in resource silos, I suppose, and we can run the Surveyor. Okay, on Gosok.
Scientific breakthrough
Already
achieved.
grabbed. Fantastic. Colony development speed, and let's go for... Honestly, it kind of doesn't matter. We'll go for particle lances. Okay, that'll do. That will do just fine. This mining world here could definitely use a system capital complex. This forge world needs a job, and we'll go ahead and build an industrial district there. Wonderful. So how do we do the war declaration? So we're currently, I believe, truced to these guys. So hypothetically, if we were going to do this, yeah. So this is just the normal way. Imposed inclusion. That's interesting. So that's to subjugate them. And that's kind of what we want to do, I think, is subjugate. So these guys, yeah, we must be truced, right? Oh, the Tazikian Foundation is associated?
Breakthrough achieved.
Hang on, what? Oh, that's the Kazikians. They're at war. Right. I'm dumb. We want these guys. And them we're truced with. Fantastic. Okay, so that's leader lifespan, and let's go with additional building slots, I suppose. Like, I don't know what we're going to do with them just yet, but something along those lines should be reasonably fine. And we're going to continue to bulk out the second fleet here. Now we are approaching our naval cap, and I am aware of this. We also have our Federation fleet now that we need to think about. We can actually have up to 200 in that. That's a lot. We are, however, going to need to get ourselves some fancy Federation ships. And our Federation fleet. We're going to make these be pretty much the same as what we've got. We're going to run in this position, let's see, 6 per day, 750. We're going to run the Guardian Point defense. And then we are going to run phase disruptors. Basically exactly the same as what we have in our personal fleets. Sapient combat computers, and then we're going to run advanced afterburners. Technically, that doesn't improve our evasion. And then we're going to run neutronium armor. So if that doesn't improve our evasion, it does improve our sublight speed, but the corvettes are not going to be the limiting factor on the sublight speed. Maybe we should run auxiliary fire controls on them. Technically, that does drop their damage, but it does increase their chance to hit, not their actual damage. So I think that's worthwhile. We'll go ahead and do that. And then for our destroyers, we're going to run a picket ship bow and a interceptor ship stern. I think, right? Hang on. Let's check our designer here. Gunship bow and picket ship stern. Close enough, I suppose. So we're going to run a gunship bow and picket ship stern. There we go. And we just run disruptors. And we run our Guardian Point defense. Fantastic. And then this one will run hyper shields and neutronium armor. And this one we could do advanced afterburners. But I don't know. Is 5% evasion worth it? Honestly, I think it is. I think 5% evasion is worthwhile. So we'll save that as the Savannah class ship. And then for the cruisers, we're going to run much as we did previously. Artillery, broadside, broadside. Okay, good to know. So that's going to be artillery, broadside, and broadside. Yeah, that'll be fine. And then we're going to run perhaps the kinetic battery, actually, over the Gauss cannon. Honestly, I think so. Kinetic battery in the large slot there. And then 1 Gauss cannon and 3 gamma lasers, like that. Is, I think, what we're going to go for there. This is a line combat computer holding at 50 range. That will do just fine. Shields. Armor. There we go. And then we've got this over here. How much would an afterburner get us for evasion? Only 2%. I don't think that's really worthwhile when instead we can get quite a lot more shields. And that's exactly what we're going to do. For the battleship, we are going to run artillery bow. Honestly, should we run just full-on artillery? We definitely could, and have this go to artillery here. And then that would sit at what range? At 80. That's perfect. So we'd run, say, gamma lasers. Technically, we could run plasma cannons. But I don't think we will. We'll run gamma lasers and kinetic batteries. Like that. And then once again, we'll run something like this. Then in these slots, shield capacitors. There we go. Something along the lines of that. And we're probably going to refit our ships a little bit as well. So the perdition beam will do for now, and then we're going to run not proton launchers. I think we're going to run in the core kinetic batteries, and then in the stern, we're going to run gamma lasers. This is currently set to artillery. That's fine, and we're going to have this be a nanobot cloud. I'm going to just eliminate all of these for now. We're going to leave our shield capacitors. That'll be fine. And we'll just run neutronium armor. Now, because of the shield capacitors, it's probably more efficient to go heavy into shields. I'm not going to do that, though, because of potential shield bypass. So we'll just do something along the lines of that. So let's go ahead and redesign our formidable class Titan. And we're running basically the same thing here. We're just going to have our core be kinetic batteries, and then our stern be gamma lasers, and everything else is fine. Then for our battleships, we're going to trade these out for kinetic batteries, and this one as well. And these will stay put. Ship of this design is currently being built. Yes, it would be, wouldn't it? Okay, we're just going to cancel those for the time being. And we'll need to redo this. So we're swapping to kinetic batteries. Now, they're a slight downgrade from Gauss cannons right now, but that's okay. And they're not really a downgrade when you look at the increase to hull damage as well as the increase to shield damage. And it's only a downgrade of 4 damage per day. Once we get to level 2 kinetic batteries, that will not be a thing. So that'll be just fine. We'll get the Kaga class battleship saved. And then the cruiser here, that's going to run the single kinetic battery and the gamma lasers. So the role of the kinetic battery is to batter down the shields, right? And then once the shields fall, we just do a lot of damage. I'm going to run 2 kinetic batteries, though, I think. Actually, these are medium size, so this will be fine. And then the cruiser, or rather the destroyers and the corvettes, they remain the same in their picket ship and penetration-focused builds. So the battleship and the Titan will take down the shields quite quickly, along with the kinetic battery from the cruiser. And then once our lasers start tearing into the armor, then that'll do a lot of damage there, along with that perdition beam. And then once we get to the hull, they'll just be wrecked. So that's the overall idea there. I do think, however, that we're going to switch these over to heavy station sections, like so. I want this one to be heavy as well. And those are simply going to run kinetic batteries, like so. The goal there is to engage at long range and chip down those shields as quickly as possible so that the other objects can, like the weapons on the station itself, can finish them off. We're going to run armor and shields as usual, and we're just going to go for the shield capacitors here. So we'll save the Farpoint class station there. Excellent. And now we are going to go ahead and upgrade these ships. Fantastic, as well as these ones. And I'm going to mute our advisor here, because we're going to do some upgrading to our existing stations. And it's going to be very, very noisy if I don't mute the advisor. We have learned this. So we're just going to continue going through here and upgrading all of these. It should be cheap enough that we can get this done right now. This may result in a slight decrease in our apparent military power, but that's okay. But you can see here we've got the gun battery, missile battery, and hangar bays there. Those should be the ones that, in theory, do most of the damage after we've battered down the shields with those kinetic batteries, which are very long range. Excellent. Ah, yes. These have been changed, but I don't know by how much. Oh, this is definitely different. This is definitely different. Okay, so this is something that we would probably prefer to have from the beginning. These are no longer fixed trees, and you now have more trees that you can adopt, but the same total number. You no longer get everything, and that's, I think, a good thing. Apparently we don't have this. We'll go ahead and max out the Harmony tree. That did not net us an Ascension perk, which I think it should have. I think we already had that, but that was... I think that was a result of upgrading to the new version right there, is my guess. That does give us an edict capacity, though, which is actually pretty handy because that allows us to do something over here. And I would like to do what? What indeed? I mean, mining subsidies wouldn't be awful. I think that's what we're going to have to go for here. Mining subsidies. Okay, so there we go. And we'll get all of these upgraded soon enough. We also can fit a Titan in here at this point. Excellent. That's really, really good. Bump that up to 40. And what do we want to do with these other two? That's the question. I mean, we're going to be running out of naval cap. We know that's going to be a thing. Interesting. We could just have this be 44 for now. And then we can downgrade it later. That would be fine. Do you still require Titan assembly yards in order to build Titans? Yes, you do. And you have to be a Citadel as well. So we do need to upgrade to Citadels, and we'll get started on that. So that's 3,500 in total. Okay. mean, there's not a ton that we can do. We've really driven up the price of alloys, and I'm doing that deliberately. I'm attempting to keep our alloy price very high. We actually no longer need to purchase consumer goods, so that is great. And this tech world here requires additional jobs. We're just going to put in a couple of research labs and a research institute. Not in that order. Research institute first. Excellent. This tech world also requires jobs. We'll put in a research institute there as well. Excellent. So the Tadasca station we're going to want to upgrade soon enough. 31,000? Okay, that's a lot. There's no doubt about that. That is a lot of energy credits to get that number of alloys. We're not surprised by this. Our research is completed here. Ah, we can go for mega cannons. We've actually already got some progress there. I'm going to grab the Ripper autocannons, I think. Although that's only small. Yeah, that's the autocannons. I actually don't think I'm going to grab that. Civilian replica complexes will be something that we want later, but it's not hugely important right now. Honestly, planetary build speed will do. Okay. So that'll be fine. Are we finishing up our upgrades here? We're still working on it. Okay. It looks like this is actually increasing our military power. So that's fine. That's completely fine. The Tadasca station is going to be ready to be upgraded next month. And so we shall. As soon as this month tick happens, there we go. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue working on our alloys and getting all of this good to go for additional expansion. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.